Okay, so now have you ever been in a bad dating relationship? You've been out with somebody and you just couldn't wait to get out of that situation and circumstance. Is there a way to do dating where you don't wind up being in that horrible, condition? Yes, there is. So stay with me for the next few moments as I'm going to lay out some tips and some principles for us that will help us have healthy dating experiences. This is Fresh Air for Life. Let's go get it. Hey family, welcome to another Fresh Air for Life. I'm Anthony D. Crawford. So glad that you're joining me. I'm out under the fresh South Florida sun and heat and humidity too, for that matter. But today we're dealing with some things called FAMU. Family University, where we're looking at strengthening our families, helping our families be everything that they were placed on this earth for, because your family and my family is an absolute blessing. Now today though, I want to deal with how to really start the family, kind of the precursor to thing, and that's called dating. Between one man, between one woman, how to do it well. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably had some bad dating experiences in your life. Well, how can you avoid that? How can you make the dating experience one that is really healthy and successful and that allows you to accomplish everything that it should accomplish as you move forward in the marriage? Well, I'm gonna give you several particular keys to help you just with that. So if you're dating, you wanna lean in. If you know someone that's dating, you wanna lean in. Maybe you're married. These tips will help you too. Now, here's the first thing we need to understand, that dating has a purpose. Dating is not just simply really for romance and companionship. That's great and that's good, to have, but that's not the real core behind dating. Dating is really something for a time of discovery, a time of research, a time of learning about the other person to see, listen, if you really want to go ahead and invest to move forward with that person, especially into something called marriage. Now, I like to say it this way, dating should be for you and me almost like a Clint Eastwood movie. Now, if you're not familiar with Clint Eastwood, Google it, you'll see some of the old westerns that he did. One of them is called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now listen, everyone on the planet, including the one talking to you, we all have a good side, we may have a bad side, and a bit of an ugly side. And you want to date a person long enough so that you can see all three of those facets clearly and you can make an objective decision. Now listen, you can't do that over 2 weeks. You can't even do that over 2 months because people can fake it for a while. You want to give enough time so you can really see what this person looks like. Now, here's tip number one on how to really date successfully. Make sure that you keep God out front of the matter. Always make sure God is your chaperone of the whole dating experience. So when you're communicating, be it talking on the phone or chatting, or whether you're going out on a date, together, you want to make sure that you set as a precursor that, what, God, we invite your presence to be with us and to direct us during this particular time. When you got him as a chaperone and everyone in the date with that kind of awareness, it keeps a healthy check on everything that you do and even the things that you talk about. Secondly, when you're dating someone, remember that they're someone's son or daughter, and specifically they're God's son or daughter first, if nobody else's. And that means you want to treat the person with honor. You want to treat the person with respect. You want to treat the person with a sense of dignity. Do not lose sight of that. Now, here's another one that you want to, keep in mind. Make sure you stay objective through the whole process. Don't let your emotions wind up leading you in the dating experience. Emotions can be fickle things. You know it. Some days you can feel up, some days you can feel down. So you don't want to let the emotions control. Allow specifically those of us that are listening, you're a Christian, you have a relationship with God. Allow God to lead you in objective decision making. So while you are discovering, while you are learning, while you are researching, you are making objective decisions along the way. And if you see some things that what I call non-negotiable, someone is violent, something like that, that's non-negotiable. Anybody you're dating should be non-violent. They should not be putting their hands on you. So you see something like that, there's no time for emotions to be like, well, I believe he really loves me, or I think she's really invested in me. If they're being abusive towards you, you got to get out of that and get out of that right away. Let me give you a couple of more. Make sure that you are inviting the person into your life progressively. Don't open up your whole life to them just overnight. If you have children, maybe you're a single, parent and you're dating, with children, you don't want to introduce them to your children right away. That's something that you want to reserve once you pretty much have learned, you've discovered, you've researched and realized this is someone that, yeah, I am interested in maybe moving forward into marriage with. So make sure that you slow down and you bring them into your life progressively. Okay, let me give you two more because these are really going to help you. Now, here's what you want to work on. You want to work on effective communication in the dating experience. When you're dating, especially early on, you don't want to do things like going to the movies or concerts. Nothing wrong with those things. I enjoy those things, myself. But in the early part of a dating relationship, you are doing a whole lot of discovery. You're doing a lot of research, and you're trying to do a lot of learning. So you don't want to spend time, at the movie theaters together where you guys are giving your undivided attention to Vin Diesel or Denzel Washington or somebody for 2-3 hours. You need to be spending that time investing in communicating back and forth with each other so that you can continue to learn, you can continue to discover, and you can make a healthy decision. Finally, you want to see your dating experience be healthy, you have to make sure you have proper boundaries. Proper boundaries are good for healthy development and growth. So you want to make sure you have boundaries. I know when I was dating, my wife, we've been married now 18 years. When I would, pick her up, I would pick her up from her apartment. She lived in a high rise. I'd meet her outside, the lobby downstairs. I didn't want to go into the building at all. And I definitely didn't want to go up to her apartment. Not because I was afraid I was going to do something or she was going to do something to me. We were just simply establishing some boundaries so that we didn't slip up into anything. So you want to have some good boundaries. Talking, in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I learned this lesson, or this lesson I should say was taught to me. The later it gets, the chances of the communication going into an area that it shouldn't go into, the potential of that rises, significantly. So you want to have certain boundaries that, hey, these are the type of things that we're going to talk about. This is the length of time that we're going to talk. These are, the things that you can experience, in terms of my life right now. You can't, meet my children too early for that. Have those kind of boundaries because that's always going to be good for a healthy dating process. And when you have healthy dating, then you can enter over into a healthy marriage. So if this has added any value to you, and I hope that it has, go ahead and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me some comments, share it with some family and friends, and let's make sure all of our families are healthy and strong. This is Fresh Air for Life. I'll see you next time. Bye.